Welcome back to Killer Fun, where we explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week. I'm Christy, and today, I know it hasn't been 2 weeks. It hasn't been every other week. It has been just 1 week since our last episode, but since Jackie and I are still on a hiatus, I decided I was going to up our schedule because we have so many fun outtakes. And today we have the spoiler-full gameplay of Mystery at Magnolia Gardens, our Nancy Drew mystery provided to us from Hunt a Killer. It was so much fun. We had such a good time. I start out with some outtakes because we had a lot of information at the beginning of that episode. So, of course, there were little outtakes and flubs and interesting things that, diatribes and tangents we went on that are super fun to cover here. There's 5 or 6 minutes of that. And then the gameplay starts. Is very long. I'm not going to lie to you, but we had a lot of good times. And you may have heard a few highlights in our original episode that aired back in September. Here is the full gameplay. We had a great time. Don't forget, those codes from Hunt a Killer are still active. So you can get discounts at huntakiller.com. Hunt, GA1010, 1010. Hunt, GA1010 gives you $10 off any item. That's super awesome. If you're going to buy more than one item, you should see if Hunt GA10, Hunt GA10 is better for you because that'll give you 10% off your order. And Hunt GA20 will give you 20% off a 6 or 12-month subscription. So if you're going to do the subscription box, that is absolutely the way to go. These are great discounts. So check that out. Have a listen. Do know that I removed all the extraneous silences and things where we are putting pieces of a puzzle together and stuff like that. You don't have to sit there through all of those silences during our gameplay. But there is a lot of gameplay here because it was longer than 60 to 90 minutes for Jackie and I. So, but we had a really good time, and we hope that you do too. Enjoy. Let's put the microphone in front of my face. Imagine that. Talk into the microphone.
I know you. Yeah, some people don't understand that. Yeah, I know that for the fact.
Josh does not. But we're recording a podcast for 5 years, and he still will look around the microphone to talk to me.
It's not a Bob Barker situation. We don't have.
It's not an obstruction. It's literally what you're supposed to be talking.
It's funny.
It's funny. Yeah. We're kind of early.
Yeah, you don't want to see us right now.
You don't know. We don't have
maybe in person. We look fine in person, but video cameras would not be kind at this hour.
No.
I haven't done makeup.
I haven't done the contouring to help my chin be singular instead of multiple. No.
And any eyeliner I have on today is left over from yesterday because when I washed my face, I just didn't do the whole scrub your eyes really well right thing.
I get that.
A little left, just a little remnant. Yeah. A little remnant.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Oh man, and I'm flaky today.
Oh.
Yeah, no video camera wants to see this.
No, that's fine. And really, all I had the energy for this morning was pull the hair up in a ponytail.
I have the headband on.
Yeah, there you go. At least you have earrings on.
I did because you know what? That's just first of all, I have an ill-fitting shirt on, right? that doesn't it's ill-fitting. I won't describe it. I do have all right jeans on. They're pretty nice and comfy. Yeah. But the hair is wet from yesterday.
Oh.
The eyeliner is from yesterday.
That's all right.
Yeah. So I threw the earrings on to sort of, take focus away, I guess.
I think you're beautiful no matter what.
Agreed. Ditto. I think we're beautiful. And I think if anybody was sitting here, they'd say, oh, y'all are beautiful. We're just talking about the issues video cameras had.
Yes.
That's it.
Right.
Video cameras are unkind.
They are.
to me.
They're so unkind.
Somehow my husband and my sons, though, they're very kind to them.
It's men. I'm like...
Excuse me. Wait. So there.
Sorry, my dinner almost killed me last night.
What?
I just like
starting early. Wow.
I just like inhaled a little bit of breading, quote unquote breading. All it was is ground up pork rinds.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And but I made chicken with the ground up pork rinds and air fried it.
I haven't done that yet, and I really want to.
So
I have
yummy.
the pork rinds even.
Yeah.
I'm like ready to go. I just keep forgetting to do it.
Oh, it's so easy and delicious. But I inhaled one.
Yeah.
The thing that makes your brand identifiable.
It is interesting when companies do this. I mean, Dunkin' Donuts did it, and they went to Dunkin'. What are you Dunkin'?
At least at least it kept the same name. I knew people who called Dunkin' Donuts Dunkin'. I went to Dunkin'. So at least it
Yeah, at least it wasn't
sense.
that big of a jump.
Yeah,
but it was
HBO
enough. It felt weird. I don't know. And then it went to the DD.
Yeah.
And it was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm not calling it double D.
No,
I'm sorry. Just not.
No,
Dunkin'
it's not
Donuts.
a bra size.
No, it's not. But my husband's Nan, his grandmother, called it Dunky Doo.
Dunky Doo.
The Dunky Doo. And then my kids made up songs about the Dunky Doo. And by kids, I mean my husband and my two kids made up songs about Dunky Doo, and they sang it all through Boston. They walked all over singing the Dunky Doo song, which I will not sing today.
Yeah. But adorable.
It's adorable. We could go inside, but it was more fun to forage. Hence the show, The Backyardigans. That is the most realistic show I've ever seen.
Yeah, despite the fact that they're all like anthropomorphized animals and
whatever
variety of colors and things. But
yes,
they
were
were
the whole
like
idea that you go outside and then like you have all of this adventure and you forage and all these things and then you get called in for snack.
Yeah.
There you all go and get snack.
There you go. Sounds good. Yeah. Don't eat the oleander.
Yeah, don't. It's amazing how far off topic I can get us.
That's right.
All right. Well, we have plenty to cut out too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's so much.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
This is probably, you know what, maybe we ought to consider the condenser. We only have one or two per thing and let us just ramble for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then there'd be less cutting out, but and then we wouldn't have as much for our other episodes.
Right.
But
all of the sources that we use to inform our discussion here on Killer Fun Podcast can be found on our social media. Join us on Facebook at Killer Fun Podcast, exploring the intersection of crime and entertainment. You can find us on Twitter at Killer Fun Pod, or you can send us an email at killerfunpodcast@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to share a link to whatever information you're looking for. We love to hear from you. You might learn a little something too.
hello, there's trouble at Magnolia Gardens, a botanical garden in my hometown of River Heights. I need your help to get to the bottom of it before anyone gets hurt any worse than they already have been, including myself. Let me explain. Yesterday, I went to visit Magnolia Garden's new exhibit on poisonous plants, Fatal Flora. I'd been invited on a personal tour by the garden's director, a family friend named Florence North. When I arrived, Florence invited me into her office for a cup of tea. I knew something was wrong immediately. Her pupils were dilated, and she kept scratching at her arms. I asked Florence how she was doing. She told me she'd started to feel ill soon after the Fatal Flora exhibit opened 3 days earlier. When I pressed her for more information, she said she'd been wondering if she was spending too much time breathing in pollen and spores from the toxic plants in the new exhibit. By the time she was done explaining, we'd finished our tea. I'd offered to clean up the cups, and that's when I saw a mysterious pink stain on the bag that held her tea strainer. The pieces fell into place for me in an instant. I asked Florence if she drank this particular tea regularly. She replied she had a cup every morning. Then I asked how many people had access to her office. She responded that she usually kept her door locked when she wasn't inside, but she'd forgotten to close up on the night the Fatal Flora exhibit opened. Florence gasped when she finally realized what I was getting at. Someone must have poisoned her loose leaf tea. I knew that with the culprit still on the loose, there wasn't much time to waste. I had to start talking to suspects and tracking down clues, and that's exactly what I did. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to solve the case before the poison started to take effect that evening. It affected me more strongly than it did Florence, likely because Florence takes her tea with a heavy pour of milk, and I take mine plain. I'd likely be discharged from the hospital in a few days, but that's not soon enough, not with the poisoner still at large. Since I'm too sick to close the case myself, I need your help. I've enclosed the evidence I've gathered from the gardens and the notes I took. During my preliminary investigation, I was able to narrow it down to 5 suspects. The rest is in your hands. You need to figure out which of our 5 suspects poisoned Florence's loose leaf tea on the night the fatal flora exhibit opened. As you may already know, you'll need to figure out which suspect had the means, motive, and opportunity to poison her. If you find evidence that any suspect doesn't have either means, motive, or opportunity, you can safely consider them to be innocent. If I were you, I'd start looking through my case notes and suspect profiles. They should give you some context as you begin to dig into the rest of the evidence. After that, you should look through the rest of the evidence to see what you find. It's up to you. Nancy Drew.
Okay, so
I'm drinking coffee today.
not tea. Means, motive, and opportunity.
Yep.
We also know that she had dilated eyes.
Yep. And scratchy skin.
Okay.
Itchy, not scratchy.
Itchy. That's right.
I know. It's just a thing
fine.
we do.
It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So, and a red stain.
On her tea bag or whatever.
There was one more thing. Oh, took several hours to take effect.
Right. And the milk slowed it down. Because Nancy doesn't take hers with milk.
That's right. All right. I'll read the notes.
Okay.
The Nancy Drew's notes. So the symptoms reported were throbbing headaches, dilated pupils, uncomfortable rashes on her arms, irregular heartbeat, vivid nightmares of being chased throughout Magnolia Garden's hedge maze by an unknown assailant.
Ooh, interesting.
Florence's office. She keeps her office locked whenever she's not inside. She's the only person with a key. I first noticed strange pink stain on the cloth container that holds her tea strainer. Upon further investigation, I found similar finger-shaped stains all around the area where Florence kept her tea and on the doorknob to her office. Ooh, so that person had touched it. They may also have itchy arms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's true.
The night of the poisoning, Florence said she always keeps her office door locked. She accidentally left it unlocked on the night of the fatal Florida exhibit opened. It was the only opportunity that culprit had to poison the tea. Here's what I know about that night. Fatal Flora exhibit opened 3 days before my visit on a Tuesday night. The opening reception for the event began at 6:45 p.m. From 7 to 8 p.m., Dr. Latour was scheduled to deliver a lecture on the chemical properties of some of the poisons found in the exhibit's flowers. A post-lecture reception was held from 8 to 8:30 p.m. Evidence collected, interview possible suspects, took notes, took the strainer and strainer bag from Florence's office as evidence.
Nice.
Look at how cute that is.
That's adorable.
I mean, we get a little bag with a tea strainer, and it's even got the little pink stain on it. I mean, it's adorable. A literal tea strainer.
Actual tea strainer.
Yes. Like I could make tea with that
You
afterwards.
could actually use this or a mole. You can mole something.
You can mull something, or
that's what I always use these things for. As a molar.
I'll use them in my Instant Pot if I'm doing soup.
Yes, you
and
do.
I want like spices in it. I'll put them in the tea strainer.
Yeah, so that it gets in the broth rather than like
right, and then I don't have to
grind them or whatever.
Right, and I don't have to sift them out.
Right. Yeah.
When Florence came back from the lecture, she found a bouquet and a postcard right outside her office door, made a sketch of the bouquet, and took the postcard as evidence. Here we go. Here's her sketch postcard.
Okay.
I know you made yourself clear, but please reconsider. If you connect the dots, you'll see where I stand. So
Damn it. We're going to have to do a code.
There's a code. Together we can figure it out. Asked Florence if any of her employees had gotten into any trouble lately. She gave me a report that she'd written about Parker. Found a sticky note with a strange message written on it in the hallway outside of Florence's office. Looks like someone dropped it. What does the sticky note say?
It says, oh, look, June, July, height. Okay, February, March, days to germination. And then June, July, planting depth.
Okay. And then there's little, like, interesting marks next to each of them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see about that. Took an exhibit brochure from Fatal Flora to get a better understanding of the plants in the exhibit. That's it.
Yep.
That's one of the only things that I've looked at a little more closely. And really, I didn't read all of the information. I just looked at the names of stuff. But I did notice there are notes that Nancy wrote
There
on.
are notes.
That she'd written.
And look, we have a bouquet sketch. We can see.
That's right. We can see what was in her bouquet sketch.
Yes. See,
so,
if there's anything that stands out as like.
So, like, these are Lily of the Valley.
Yep, that's Lily of the Valley.
And I think these are the Bleeding Hearts.
Mm-hmm. And this is the
Wolfsbane.
probably.
Wolfsbane. Okay, so basically they just made her a bouquet of...
Like the yellow is not there. And the blue. The blue and the yellow.
Right. Are red herring.
Right.
Took a map of Magnolia Gardens to guide me around. Oh, right here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So there's a whole... Gosh, it's so cool.
We need a bulletin board.
We do need
We need to like use we need to like post everything. Because look, we have suspect cards too.
Yes.
And like character cards.
Right.
Yeah. I don't like Parker.
Does Parker give you bad vibes?
Yeah, but Oliver's cute.
Oh, Oliver is cute. He looks like white Jesus.
Look like white Jesus.
They make Jesus.
we made Jesus to look absolutely adorable.
I mean,
as a
real.
white man with his sandals. Just give that man a guitar. Tara and then Heather.
Okay.
Of course, Heather. You know, Heather's movie Heather's.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And they all have like stuff on the back.
Okay.
Right. Like so we have.
Yeah, we have lots of stuff.
Lots
to
of
read.
notes about who is what.
All right. Kept an eye out for items that Heather said were stolen from the gift shop. Found packets and a tin in the trash can outside the main building. The tin is locked. There's definitely something inside. So there's these. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are empty envelopes.
I was wondering because there's an actual tree strainer. I was like, maybe there's seeds.
No, there's not actual seeds. Oh, I think you have to get a different kind of permit to mail seeds.
Oh, really? Oh,
so probably. So they're empty.
They're empty. So we have carrots.
Snow peas, watermelons.
And
then we have, look at how cute this is. It's a box with Magnolia Gardens with a little.
It's a legit lock,
legit lock. Like you could use this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, actually you couldn't because it's not TSA certified. It doesn't have the hole in it. But it looks like a luggage tag.
Yeah. For something else. Right. Small locker or a little trunk. Or a diary.
A diary. Or this little tin.
Or this tin. We could keep it locked. It's a pencil case.
Oh, okay.
It's a pencil.
Cool.
I wonder.
There's something in it.
I feel like a kid at Christmas. I hope I don't break it. I should not do that. Okay. Maybe I'll be more gentle. Okay.
I don't think you need to, but that's fine. And then I found a notebook on the ground out inside the old greenhouse, which is strange since nobody's supposed to be working there anymore. I took the most recent page since it appears to have been written during the week during the poisoning.
Okay, yeah, we have like a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Basically, it looks like somebody's trying to launch an idea.
Okay.
Right? And I hate to do this, it's so profile-y, but it looks very much like a female's handwriting.
Sure.
It's also in pink. And I hate to say that, but but girls tend to get the colored pens and write legibly.
Right.
Except for me. I'm not typical, and I'm fine with that. But then there's this other writing on here that looks
like Nancy's writing.
That looks like Nancy's writing.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Like if you look at the flora, Fatal Flora.
There's like these notes in here. And see, it's small, little quick handwriting, but it's still cute.
Yeah. Found an interesting looking fax in Dr. Latour's office and borrowed it That was one of the things that I did read about when we were reading about Nancy Drew.
She never stole anything.
She stole. She broke and entered. She got into stuff.
Mm-hmm. But
all in the name of solving the mystery.
Oh, for sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we just borrowed this. Mm-hmm. Borrowed it.
She borrowed the facts.
Mm-hmm.
Saw a checklist on a communal refrigerator in the administrative building. Looks like tensions were high between Sherwood and Tara the week the exhibit opened. Borrowed that as well. Here's the checklist.
We borrowed a lot.
Missing plants. As I searched Magnolia Garden for clues, I noticed that some of the garden's plants had recently had cuttings taken from them. I asked Florence about it, and she said there was no reason that anyone should be taking cuttings from any plants on display. I wonder who took all of these plants and what their motivations could have possibly been. The following plants had cuttings taken: an air plant, azalea, bleeding heart, chamomile, jelly bean plant, lily of the valley, oleander, Venus flytrap, wolfsbane.
Okay.
So all 6 of the ones that are most deadly and in the fatal flora brochure and others. And then there's a scientific internship program information. The name of the intern is Parker. His supervisor was Florence. And then it's like a review for his internship. Okay. So you want to read us that facts?
Yeah, let's read the facts. Okay. So, dear Dr. Latour, which is Tara Latour.
Okay.
Thank you again for video conferencing me this evening to go over collaboration and funding opportunities with the Tom Swift Company. I understand that you were quite occupied with giving a lecture this evening. I very much appreciate you choosing to miss the reception in order to speak with me for the past 45 minutes. So this has got to be the evening of the opening. Your research on water efficiency of genetically modified tomatoes is both creative and pioneering. However, as we discussed, your progress has not yet been sufficient enough to warrant an external grant. The current strain of tomato you've produced is frankly unfit for sale, with only a marginal difference in water retention. While we appreciate the passion you clearly have for the project and understand your need for financial assistance, we will not be able to provide funding at this time. I wish you the best of luck in your continued research and suggest you resubmit an application once you've obtained more desirable results. Best regards, Alex Holland, External Grant Manager, Tom Swift Company.
Okay, so she was not granted funding.
Yeah. So this is twice we've heard about Tara. She's lost an opportunity for a grant, and she had an issue with Sherwood,
right. Yes, and she was scheduled to deliver a lecture. I don't know if she actually did, but she did miss the reception afterwards.
And now we know why, because she was on a video conference. So that is kind of if she gave the lecture, because it says she was scheduled. If we make the assumption that means that she actually gave the lecture, then missed it, then she didn't have much opportunity.
No.
As of now. Right. Although she's getting hit. What was the problem with Sherwood? There was something when we read the Sherwood thing.
I don't remember.
There was a note where you said Tara about Sherwood.
It's here somewhere.
Wasn't it here?
They have offices next to one another.
Yeah, here we go. Looks like tensions were high between Sherwood and Tara the week the exhibit opened. Borrowed that as well. It's on the checklist.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Sherwood and Tara. So, hey, didn't we agree the break room was an allergen-free zone? I got an unpleasant flare-up from the tomato spill left in the microwave. Assuming it was you for obvious reasons, Tara. That was Sherwood. Tara replies, apologies. I was busy with the FF lecture yesterday. That's the fatal flora. Must have slipped my mind. Maybe you'd understand what it's like to have a multitask. Sorry. Maybe you'd understand what it's like to have to multitask if you'd been promoted. For the record, though, it was regular tomato soup, nothing from the lab.
Okay.
And then I might not be nearly as busy as you are trying to salvage that project of yours, but I find ways to occupy my time. Next time, bring clam chowder.
Ooh. Okay. Don't warm that up in the microwave. Gross.
And then Oliver replies. He gets in the mix here. Hi all. The microwave is clean now. How about we let bygones be bygones? Great talk yesterday, Tara. By the way, perfect opening for a fantastically curated exhibit.
Okay, so she did do the...
She did do the lecture.
Okay,
So her and Sherwood not happy.
Okay.
Tara is not happy.
No.
We need pens.
That's right. I wish I had...
Push pins or thumb tacks or whatever. Nice.
I've been wondering why I was going to keep this box.
And now you know.
Now I know. Sweet.
I don't know. Do we need string? I don't know, but I definitely want to post some things. Okay, so it says on this, what do you call it? Journal notepad that she borrowed from. Nancy says, this page is from the notebook I found in the supposedly abandoned greenhouse. Seems to cover this past week.
Look at this. So we got us... We got us a makeshift pin board.
Oh, yes.
We got pins. We got thread to connect our dots.
Listen, I'm standing.
I
I pulled the mic up and everything. Okay. Okay, so the note page, we hadn't read that yet.
Okay.
So actually I just did. I read the little note from Nancy Drew.
Right.
If you want me to redo it, I can.
No, it's fine.
Okay. So this is like a notepad. It's clearly Tara's.
Okay.
It's clearly Tara's because
How so?
How so? Because this project of the tomatoes, right? She had reached out about her project,
Okay.
right? And because she wanted this grant, and so, and then on the checklist, we see her and Sherwood having a conversation, and she confirms it's not one of the ones from the lab. So this notepad, though, it says. She has her own little note on it after she drew some flowers around it.
Okay.
I know it's a successful business model. Florence will totally have to say yes when she sees how much money, quote, Laura has made for the gardens.
Okay.
So this is a project name, right? You know what I mean? And so this is obviously, part of that.
Okay. And she's got to convince Florence.
She has to convince Florence. I think the sticky note goes along with this. Yes. Only because, all right, so then the sticky note, we have this June, July height.
Okay.
Right? And here, she's making like, I don't know, there's these notes here, and I'm not really sure what they're abbreviated, but it's clear she's like making a progress note.
Okay.
Right? So June, July, I don't know what height means, except how high the plant is.
Yeah.
And then February to March is days to germination, and then June to July is planting depth. I don't really know.
It seems out of order.
It seems out of order.
All right, wait. So, February to March, days to germination, and June and July are the same. It's both June and July. So it germinates, but why would you? I don't understand that. Okay.
I think it's part of the code. There's these like little hashtag things
it's
going
like a
on.
hashtag,
and like,
but bigger. A
but
pound
bigger.
sign, but bigger.
Yeah.
This is what we used to call it, like a big pound sign.
a big pound sign. Yeah. But it's got 3 hash marks on it. So I just feel like there's something definitely happening with this.
With Tara and her research, and she's got strife with people. All right. Oh, do we need to read the back of Tara's card?
We do. So we're talking a lot about Tara. Oh, see, Laura, the Laura project, her last name is Tara Latour.
Okay.
I just feel like there's something there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. These are the notes on the back of the card. She's 29. She's a research scientist. Tara is trying to breed strains of produce that need less water to grow. Okay. She said if her project succeeds, it could mean more environmentally friendly way of farming. However, Tara also mentioned her project hasn't been successful as she'd hoped, saying this, quote, the project's setbacks can be chalked up to a lack of funding and or lack of good assistance. Parker hasn't lived up to my expectations. Florence won't invest enough money into my vision. Still, I'm going to make sure this study succeeds no matter what.
Okay.
On the night of the lecture, Tara planned to show up to the exhibit early, but Parker made a mistake in the lab that set her back. Tara seemed frustrated with him, saying, quote, "Of course, Parker's incompetence would make me run late to my own lecture. He somehow managed to trip while carrying my most promising samples, making a huge mess for us both." Both Sandersons are as clumsy as they are negligent of lab safety protocols. That it's fine that Sherwood constantly forgets about the existence of protective eyewear and gloves, but it's baffling that Parker never remembers something so basic.
Okay, so Parker and Sherwood are related.
They have the last name,
Yeah.
same last name, Sandersons.
Yeah, one's an exhibit curator and the other's a college student intern. So a little nepotism.
A little. I mean, maybe if he just got him just an internship. I don't know, but ooh. Okay, so Tara told Parker to clean up the samples he dropped. Then she left the administrative building. She arrived at the Fatal Flora exhibit around 6:55. Tara noticed Sherwood wasn't at the event. She sounded annoyed that the curator would miss the opening of his own exhibit. She also noticed Parker sneak into the event at one point, but that he seemed more interested in the refreshment table than the lecture. Tara said Florence showed up to the event late, that Oliver left the lecture a few minutes before she was done speaking. Tara mentioned with more than a little annoyance that Heather was her only colleague who stayed for the entirety of the lecture. Tara left as soon as she was finished speaking at 8 o'clock. When I asked her why, she said it was because she doesn't like to mingle and because she had some work to complete in her office. When she got to her office, Tara could hear Sherwood's music playing through their shared wall. She said that it turned off at some point before she left, but she couldn't say exactly when. While she was in her office, Tara saw Oliver through her window. Okay, he was moving around the greenhouse from 8 to 8:15. She couldn't make out exactly what he was doing. Okay, and she left for the night at 9 o'clock. As I left Tara's office, I noticed a lab coat hanging in the corner covered in pink stains.
Okay.
So that's very interesting. Maybe the note sheet might have been from outside or found outside.
Let's see. Okay, so we've talked a lot about Tara. But she doesn't get along with Dr. Sherwood.
No, she doesn't. And she mentioned, right, that she saw... I didn't write it down.
That's fine.
She saw who inside the greenhouse?
It was Oliver.
It was Oliver inside the greenhouse, which made me think, okay, I think that this notepad thing is her. I do.
Okay.
But just because it was found outside the greenhouse doesn't mean that she was working in the greenhouse. It could have been somebody who took it originally, which is why, and then went to the greenhouse.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
So
let's find out why Sherwood and Tara don't get along.
Okay.
I think.
Let's see what they have to say.
So, Dr. Sherwood Sanderson. Sherwood is Parker's uncle, and he seems extremely fond of him. Here's how he talked about Parker. The kid's a genius. He'll have his pick of jobs once he graduates, but I'll bet anything that he's going to end up here. I always used to take him to Magnolia Gardens when he was little. It was his favorite place in the whole world and still is. Sherwood says he had to miss Fatal Flora's opening to complete a large amount of ultra-high priority paperwork that he needed to turn in ASAP. He stayed in his office playing music for most of the night. He finished his work a few minutes before 8 and decided he'd missed so much of the event already that there was no point in showing up for the last half hour. When he finished his work, Sherwood peeked into the lab to check on Parker, and according to him, I only looked in. I never set foot on any part of Dr. Latour's turf. Let's just say it's hostile terrain for me for more than one reason. Sherwood said Parker looked busy at work when he checked on him, so he left Parker alone, and then he went into the break room to find something to eat. Sherwood heard Tara come back to the administration building from the main building at some point after 8 during the time he was eating, but couldn't say exactly when. Around 8:20, Sherwood heard someone knocking on a door in the hallway. He looked into the hall and saw Oliver standing outside Florence's office. Oliver was holding something, but Sherwood couldn't see it because Oliver's back was to him. Oliver called Florence's name as if he was trying to coax her out of the room, but nobody came to the door. That's when Sherwood looked away. When I tried to ask about why Oliver might be visiting Florence so late, Sherwood said I should ask Oliver myself. A quote from Sherwood on Oliver. The guy tries to be all stoic, but he's got a whole lot of feelings buttoned down under those big cozy sweaters of his. Sherwood stayed in the break room until 8:50 eating dinner and, in his words, tying up some loose ends. When he finished up, Sherwood drove Parker back to his dorm at RHU and then took himself home.
Okay, and RHU is River Heights University, and they are a sponsor of the opening night.
Okay.
By the way. So, like, it's an internship with the college, and, you know, that's all very interconnected. Okay. So we have a Tara Sherwood situation match that maybe this postcard could represent as well. It could be that I know you made yourself clear, but please reconsider. If you connect the dots, you'll see where I stand. That could be between Tara and Sherwood, but it also could be.
But it was found in Florence's office, I believe.
It was.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Wait.
I think it was found, in the notes.
The note. Okay, so the postcard.
Okay, so when Florence came back from the lecture, she found a bouquet and a postcard right outside her office door.
Okay. All right, and look at the handwriting. We have the weekly break room checklist where Oliver chimed in about letting bygones be bygones, and look at that.
That's Oliver's handwriting. Okay.
Okay, so the bouquet and the postcard is from Oliver. And of course, Oliver's getting it in with the boss. Look at this guy.
Well, let's read about Oliver.
Oh, yeah, let's read it. I always want to post this picture up there, forgetting that Nancy put all the notes on the back of their picture. Okay. He's a horticulturist. Okay. Oliver takes care of the plants in Magnolia Gardens. He mainly works out of the new greenhouse. The new greenhouse. Oh, so when we saw somebody in the greenhouse, it was the new greenhouse, not the old greenhouse?
Yeah, let's look on the map. See if we can see.
Because where was there something about somebody saying, I don't know why anybody would be out there.
Okay, so Oliver spends most of his time in the greenhouse, which is here. Tara could see it from her office.
Okay, and this is the old greenhouse.
Okay.
That's where the thing was found. The piece of the notebook.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay, so those are two different things.
Okay.
Sherwood told me to ask him about Florence, so I did. It wasn't hard to get Oliver to open up. It seemed like he wanted someone to talk to. He got visibly upset when I mentioned Florence's name, saying, Florence and I were involved for some time romantically, and it was fine. More than fine. It was fantastic. But I mean, it was fine in the sense that there's nothing against it in the employee handbook. We both checked. Still, she asked me to keep things quiet. She wanted to be professional. I wanted to be more open, but I respected her wishes. Because of this, Florence and Oliver would never be affectionate at work. This is what they did instead. Quote, instead of saying, I love you, whenever people were around, I'd say perennial. It's a term that means through thick and thin, basically. If a perennial might look dead in the winter, you can count on it to bloom again come springtime. Oliver said that when Florence was promoted, it put a strain on the relationship. She was even less comfortable dating a subordinate than she was a coworker. They tried to make it work for several months up until last week when Florence broke off the relationship for good. On the night of the opening, Oliver showed up around 6:30, hoping to help set up as an excuse to talk to Florence. But Florence didn't show up until after Tara started speaking. Here's what he said about that. Quote, when Florence walked into the room, I saw her look down at the empty seat next to me and walk over to the opposite end of the room to sit instead. That really hurt. Oliver said he couldn't stand the thought of Florence ignoring him during the post-lecture mingling, so he slipped out a few minutes before 8. Then he went to the new greenhouse to complete some horticultural tasks before he left. At 8:15, Oliver cut through the administrative building to get his car. He thought he heard someone moving around in Florence's office. Oliver called out to Florence through the door, hoping to talk to her. When nobody responded, he left. When Oliver got to his car, he saw Heather leaving the abandoned greenhouse with Gertrude Robertson, a woman who visits the gardens every Tuesday. The two parted ways, got into their respective vehicles, and drove away. Oliver went home a little after 8:20. I noticed quite a few stains on Oliver's clothing, which isn't out of the ordinary for his job. However, one of them was a similar pink to the stains in Florence's office.
Okay.
So this could be Heather's writing then.
Yeah, because they found that outside of the old one.
Unless Heather and Tara are working together. Heather was the only one who sat through Tara's entire lecture.
Right.
So this could be outside of the old greenhouse and be either one of them is their writing.
Right.
Maybe.
Well, look. No, does that... I don't think it's Tara's writing because
You're right. That doesn't match Tara.
Right.
So this is Heather's notebook.
Yes, it looks like it.
But maybe it has something to do with Tara.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to move it over here.
Yeah. Okay.
So that it's a little
clearer.
But this sticky note, the sticky
it's
note
hard
looks
to
a
tell.
little bit more like Tara's.
Right. Well, maybe stick it on its own for now. Okay.
It's actually a sticky note.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so maybe we read about Heather now?
Sure.
Because we know that Heather was seen in the old greenhouse.
Uh-huh.
There's this note thing there's this project, the Lara, and Oliver saw them out there. And Oliver did explain himself well about why he was outside the office.
Right.
But he also kind of made it sound like he was just checking in when actually he was seen with stuff in his hands and the bouquet and the postcard was found. Uh-huh. And then there's a code on this stupid postcard. Uh-huh. Really? Who writes in code? All right, you want to read about Heather?
Sure. All right, so Heather Shaw. Heather greeted me with a chipper hello when I told her who I was. She started telling me about a potential case of theft from the gift shop.
Okay.
According to Heather, she was doing inventory the morning after the Fatal Flora exhibit opened when she noticed that a small tin and 3 seed packets and a postcard went missing the previous night.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. She said that she found 95 cents on the counter after the talk, and since the postcards cost exactly that much, she assumed that money was meant to pay for the postcard. It's odd that there'd be payment for the card, but not the seeds or the tin.
Okay, so we're saying...
So Oliver took the card, paid for it, somebody else...
stole the stuff.
Yeah. Heather seemed to take pride in her work. She noted that she knows Magnolia Garden's regular visitors by name, favorite flower, and astrological sign. She said she always pitches ideas on how to improve the botanical garden to the director, although she seemed to get a bit less cheerful when I asked about that, saying, I totally think we should start selling flowers. Oh, and we should get a costume mascot who dresses like a big magnolia. But Florence doesn't take me seriously like Felix, the old director, did. Which is like not cool of her. She thinks she's better than me because she's in charge of the whole place and I'm just the gift shop girl. But someday she'll realize she shouldn't have underestimated me.
Ooh.
On the night of the opening, Heather showed up to the event space a little before 6:30 to set up chairs and the refreshment table. She noticed Oliver arrive a few minutes after she did. Heather then listened to the entirety of Tara's lecture. This was her takeaway. Dr. Latour had like a weird pink stain on her blazer. It's like so embarrassing for her to give a whole speech in front of that many people looking like a total mess. I mean, yikes. After the talk, Heather spoke with several regular visitors to the garden, including a woman named Gertrude Robertson, who before eventually leaving the building around 8:10. When Heather was in the parking lot a little later, she saw Oliver come out of the administrative building to get into his car and rest his head on the steering wheel. Here's what she said about that. I bet he'd been looking for Florence, which is like so sad of him. No offense. It's like, take a hint, she's just not that into you. She drove home at 8:20.
Boy, she's really, I can't say that word. Okay. Yeah.
I think I totally understand what word you're getting at.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's very interesting, though, because whereas we might have thought they were in it together, this Tara and Heather, maybe not so much.
Maybe not so much.
But maybe, because now looking at this notepad and thinking now it's Heather's handwriting, because we still think it's a girl because it's pink and it's nice, but now we see that it's not really Tara's handwriting. Now I'm looking at it and I'm seeing Monday, SK 5880, 3:27 p.m. That 5880 has a $sign next to it.
Right. So it must be like some sort of, it would make sense that it was information about the gift shop.
Right. So she's making notes about when certain things were sold and what they were.
Right.
But I don't know how that relates to flowers unless she's selling the flowers and not telling Florence, and she's making a note of it to show that this project's going to be amazing.
Okay.
So maybe I don't know if Heather would kill her because she's out there to prove, and somebody can't realize they were wrong unless they're alive to see it. So I don't know.
I don't either.
It's a question. So we've read everybody else except Parker and Florence. Do we want to read Parker next?
Sure.
Because we have his a little eval as well.
Yes.
Do we want to do that first or after?
Yeah. Let's do his card, and then we'll do his eval.
Okay.
Parker Sanderson. Parker is currently a senior at River Heights University, in addition to working at Magnolia Gardens. His internship is part of a year-long program that the school has with the botanical garden. Parker said that he hopes to get hired on as a full-time employee once he graduates. Currently, most of his duties involve helping Dr. Latour with her ongoing research. Parker is also Sherwood's nephew. Here's what he had to say about Sherwood. Uncle S has always had my back. Growing up around him gave me the confidence I have today. Plus, the interest in plant biology. He's a total natural leader. A lot of people don't see that in him, just like how they don't see how smart I really am, but they will someday for both of us. Sounds to me like we'll get to that. All right. Parker missed most of Fatal Flora's opening night because Dr. Latour asked him to stay in the lab to clean up a number of samples that he had accidentally spilled shortly before the event began. He said this about the task. I don't get why I had to be the one to clean up. The janitor would have gotten to it in the morning. I honestly kind of think Dr. L just wanted to take her frustrations out on me since her project's not going the way she wants. It honestly just a matter of time before Florence shuts it down. After cleaning the spill, Parker got bored and a little lonely in the lab, so he snuck into the lecture for roughly 20 minutes from 7:15 to 7:40. He notes that Heather, Oliver, and Florence were all in attendance for Tara's talk. At 7:40, Parker took some snacks from the table at the back of the room and went back to the lab. He knew that Sherwood must not be done with his work yet, since he could still hear music playing from Sherwood's office, and he couldn't go home before Sherwood was ready, since Sherwood was his ride. Parker said that he occupied his time by getting a little extra internship-related work done, and he noticed Sherwood sticking his head into the lab to check on him a little before 8. Parker says that he finished his work at 8:45 and that Sherwood gave him a ride back to RHU a little before 9.
Now, did we read Sherwood's?
Yeah, we did.
We did?
Yeah, but pull it down.
Yeah, I have to remember. Yeah, okay, because you read it.
Yeah.
This is that thing. Where you read it and I heard it, and I don't remember looking at it.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. Yeah. We read that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I remember. Okay. So, all right. So we have this form. So River Heights University Scientific Internship Program. This is from the university. It's a, form that has to be filled out by his supervisor. So this form is to be filled out midway through the year-long program by a supervisor, reviewed with the program's participant, and submitted to the dean's office at RHU in order for the participant to receive academic credit for their participation in the program.
Okay, so Florence wrote this and Parker's seen it.
Yes, signature of intern, signature of supervisor.
Okay,
everybody's seen it.
So, okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, where did we get this from? Where did Nancy find this?
Nancy asked Florence if any of her employees had gotten into any trouble lately, and she gave me a report she'd written about Parker.
Okay.
So Florence gave this to Nancy.
Okay, great. So name of intern, Parker Sanderson, name of supervisor, Florence North, and name of organization, Magnolia Gardens. Okay. So identify any areas of excellence or significant achievements the student has made. Parker is an intelligent young man with a genuine passion for plant biology. He has proven time and time again to be quick-witted, and he shows a genuine aptitude for biochemistry. He is quick to think of creative solutions to any problems that might arise. Identify any areas where improvement in performance is needed. Dr. Latour, who works most closely with Parker, has reported to me that Parker often incorrectly fills out lab reports and consistently makes easily preventable errors in those same reports and repeatedly fails to observe basic lab safety protocols despite numerous warnings. All of these issues stem from Parker's failure to double check his work before submitting it, and they have led to Parker making numerous preventable lab errors. While Parker is certainly not the only reason that Dr. Latour's research has fallen behind schedule, I consider his negligence to be one of the primary factors. He unfortunately seems to have been more of a hindrance than a help to her so far. So it's interesting because Tara thinks that Florence is just not there to support when actually Florence is seeing what's happening.
Right.
She's seeing that this intern is part of the problem.
Right.
Include any additional comments here. Okay. When my colleague, Dr. Sanderson, recommended Parker for this position, he repeatedly emphasized to me how intelligent Parker is and how much potential he has to become a skilled researcher.
Hey, look at that. The man has potential.
Potential. So we're going to hire him off this potential.
Despite the fact that he's proven himself error prone.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
He's
That's all
still
I have
here.
to say.
I agree with Dr. Sanderson upon both of these fronts. However, Parker has shown an inability to take direction. Multiple times, Dr. Latour and I have discussed with Parker these issues mentioned in the previous section, and he has made no significant effort to alter his behavior. Instead of taking this program as an opportunity to live up to the promise he has shown, Parker has instead been wasting his considerable potential. Despite Dr. Latour being engrossed with the preparation of an upcoming lecture, she has felt the need to delegate less responsibility to Parker for fear that he will do more harm in her absence. Wow. So RHU designed the scientific internship program in collaboration with participating institutions with the goal of placing graduating seniors in full-time positions at these institutions. At this point in time in the program, how likely are you to take the participant on as a full-time employee at the time of graduation? Okay, so this is what Florence writes in that box. Although Parker is only halfway through the program, at this point, I'm afraid I have no hope that he will reflect on his actions and prove himself to be a worthwhile member of the team.
Wow.
While I'm sure Dr. Sanderson would love to see Parker get a junior research position upon graduation, I personally do not intend to hire Parker once this internship concludes.
So Parker knows, and therefore Sherwood probably knows that Parker is not going to get a job here.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's related to Tara and that's why Sherwood has multiple issues with her. Right? So there's like really a big connection between Sherwood, Parker, and Tara. But I wonder, has Tara seen this? If Tara hasn't seen this review, she may not really know that Florence is on her side.
Right.
But let's read last Florence's card. Yep, so Sherwood and Parker. And then that's connected to Tara because, wow. All right. Florence North, director of Magnolia Gardens. All right. This is the last card.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Florence has only been the director for about 6 months. When the previous director retired, she was up against Sherwood for the promotion.
Okay. So Florence and Sherwood were competitors for this job, and Florence got it.
Florence got it. And now, looking at the weekly checklist, Tara makes a remark about him being not being promoted.
Right.
So I feel like maybe Tara, even though she's annoyed with Florence about not getting funding, she also knows that Florence is
better for the job
and behind her.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay.
Maybe. Okay. So anyway, Florence said she was surprised to be promoted over Sherwood since he's been working at Magnolia Gardens much longer than her. She drinks a cup of tea in her office every morning at 9 a.m. She started to feel sick around 5 p.m. the day after the Fatal Flora exhibit opened. The night Fatal Flora opened, Florence was in her office for most of the afternoon doing administrative work. She heard a loud crash come from the lab at around 6:50, but didn't check on it since she was busy. 20 minutes later, Florence realized she had lost track of time and that she was running late for the opening night event. On her way to the opening, Florence saw Parker inside the lab cleaning something up and heard Sherwood in his office. She said this about Sherwood. Quote, he was blasting classic rock like he usually does when he's rushing to meet a deadline. I wish I could say I was shocked he missed the opening of his own exhibit, but frankly, that's not unusual behavior for Dr. Sanderson. Okay, so Tara was already speaking when Florence walked into the event. She saw Oliver and Heather at the lecture too. What?
Oliver and Heather were both there.
Yeah, Oliver said he walked in and looked at the empty seat next to
No. He saved Florence a seat.
She's the one that walked in, saw the empty seat next to Oliver, and walked across the...
Right.
Okay, yes. Okay. Just making sure I'm tracking all of that. Okay. Tara finished speaking at 8:00, but didn't stick around for the reception. Florence said this, quote, "I had to mingle and field questions about the lecture on her behalf, which was a little awkward since I'm not a scientist. She seemed like she was in a hurry to leave."
Okay.
Florence left the event when it ended and went back to the administrative building to retrieve her car keys from her office. When she got there, she saw Sherwood in the break room, muttering angrily under his breath and furiously scratching at his arms.
Oh.
Hence the freaking... He thinks it's the tomato.
Right. Okay.
Hence the checklist for...
He said it was the tomato to cover up why he was really itchy, maybe.
Maybe. Because, okay, when Florence got to her office at 8:30, she noticed there was a bouquet and postcard on the floor, outside her door. Oh, that's interesting. Because Oliver said that he heard something at that time, and that's why he was calling her name.
Right.
But others saw him holding something.
Right.
And now...
Yes,
we know that there was something outside the door.
Right, so he left the bouquet of flowers and the postcard for Florence. Okay.
And he heard something in there and was calling her name.
But she didn't answer. But she wasn't there because she was fielding questions at the reception.
Well, she did
afterwards.
retrieve her car keys from the office, but we don't...
Right, but we don't know when.
We don't really exactly know when. We just know that... Well, we know that when Florence got to her office around 8:30, she noticed there was a bouquet and postcard on the floor. 8:30 p.m., maybe?
Yeah.
So that's 8:30 p.m. So she wasn't there yet when this ruckus was going on.
Right. So there was something happening in her office. Okay.
But whatever it was, it didn't disturb what Oliver put outside the door either.
Right.
What time did he put something outside the door? Tara said it. Tara said he was moving around the greenhouse. 9 o'clock, no. Oh, no. So Oliver was in the greenhouse from around 8 to 8:15. Around that time, 8 or 8:15.
Okay, so he was getting this bouquet together.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so... Florence left the event when it ended and went back to the thing. Okay, when Florence got to her office around 8:30, she noticed there was a bouquet and a postcard on the floor outside the door. I've asked her to give both of these to me as evidence. Okay, Florence realized she accidentally left her door unlocked when she left for the lecture. She made sure the door was locked for real this time and left around 8:45.
Okay. So Florence didn't poison herself.
No. No.
Okay.
So we also know that Oliver said, Oliver said this. At 8:15, Oliver cut through the administrative building to get to his car. Okay, that's him leaving the greenhouse.
Okay.
Oliver left this greenhouse with the bouquet of flowers in hand, right?
Right.
He thought he heard someone moving around in Florence's office. Oliver called out to Florence through the door, hoping to talk to her. When nobody responded, he left. He doesn't mention leaving anything at the door.
No, he does not. But that's because he is being rejected, and that's embarrassing.
Yeah. Or
somebody is framing him.
Mm-hmm. Or, okay, I know this sounds crazy, but the pink stains, that we've seen, maybe the tea was poisoned because Florence picked up the poison in the flowers.
Oh, okay.
And then made her tea.
Oh, so you're saying I think because it's a game. She's not inadvertently been. I don't think she's inadvertently being caused illness. Okay. He did this on purpose.
Somebody did.
Yeah, somebody did it on purpose. Not he. Okay. Someone.
Okay, it's just interesting because he had the stain on his coat.
Right, but it would make sense because he works out in the... And it would make sense that Tara would have it since she works in a lab. Mm-hmm. But not necessarily...
But she doesn't work in that area.
She doesn't work... Would her research even entail something that would cause a red stain?
Nothing, really. Well, a red stain, yes, but not pink necessarily.
Maybe. Tomato juice can make a pink stain instead of...
So we're saying there might be... The stains seen on her coat...
May or may not be the same ones.
As the one that's on the tea.
Okay. So they need to have three things. They need to have motive, means, and opportunity.
Yeah. So we can write the motive first, I think, right?
Motive.
And see who is what.
Means, opportunity. All right. Florence didn't do it. We know that. So we don't even need to put her down. Oliver. Motive was he's a jilted lover. Means would be one of okay, well, let's look. So it's a pink stain.
It's a pink stain. Yeah.
So they're only half of the flowers in the Fatal Flora Poisonous Plants brochure are red or pink.
Right.
Okay. So it's oleander, azalea, and bleeding heart. Let's see. Oleander and azalea both had cuttings stolen from them.
Okay. But not the bleeding heart.
The bleeding heart has been seen somewhere before, which I think is in the bouquet.
What does the note say?
It says, I've seen this plant somewhere else.
Okay, so that has to be she saw it in the thing, but the azalea and the oleander are the ones that had cuttings stolen.
Right.
And those are also in the bouquet.
Perhaps. It's hard to tell for sure.
I know, it kind of drawing looks like a little bit more like a hibiscus over here, but it could be the azalea.
It could be the azalea, or it could be the oleander. It's got a sort of similar, the oleander could be one of them. All right. So.
Or the opposite way. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. One of them is more pink than the other, though, in the same color.
Yeah.
In her drawing.
Yeah. Okay. So azalea is a flowering shrub found across the world. Behind the bush's beauty lurks a beastly bite. When consumed, the granotoxins in azaleas can cause a frothy salivation, loss of appetite, irregular heartbeat, and seizures. When bees make honey using azalea, pollen can be often be found in it and making the honey toxic. So oleander is a flowering shrub in ornamental gardens worldwide. Oleander contains cardiac glycosides that causes rashes, confusion, tiredness, nausea, stomach pain, blurred vision, and irregular heartbeat when consumed. Oleander is toxic in more than one way. Even breathing in the smoke of burning oleander can be dangerous. So I would say the symptoms, let's read those again. Florence's symptoms: throbbing headache, dilated pupils. So throbbing headache could be probably either one of those. I know the dilated pupils is kind of pointing to deadly nightshade, but she ingested it. That the dilating comes from putting the.
Can I look at this?
See. Uncomfortable rashes, upper arms, irregular heartbeat, vivid nightmares of being chased through Magnolia Garden's hedge by an unknown assailant.
Okay.
So does oleander have the hallucinations?
Oleander causes rashes, confusion, tiredness, nausea, stomach pain, blurred vision, and irregular heartbeat.
Okay. So irregular heartbeat, rashes.
But this is the same: irregular heartbeat and seizures, lack of appetite, and frothy salivation. Or sorry,
Salivation.
The frothy salivation. Okay.
That sounds dirty.
Oliver. No, sorry. Okay. I'm going to stop that train of thought right now. Frothy salivation. So, because the oleander is toxic in more than one way, even breathing in the smoke of burning oleander can be dangerous. Okay. I'm looking at these, but the bleeding heart we've seen somewhere before, but we didn't have pieces cut, right?
Right there. Yeah, as far as I can tell.
I'm just going to, for the sake of it, look at this. When consumed, this plant causes tremors, drooling, rash, difficulty breathing, and even seizures. So there is also, of course, the pink, is making us lean towards these red flowers. But I want to look and see what the other symptoms are. So the wolfsbane is numbness, irregular heartbeat, nausea, vomiting, and potentially death. Okay. Lily of the Valley, irregular heartbeat, abdominal pain, and nausea, and potentially death. Okay. Hold on.
They all make you feel ill. They all seem to cause irregular heartbeat.
But only a few of them say death.
Was he trying to kill her though? Was the murderer trying to kill her or just get her out of the way?
I don't know, but deadly nightshade. Yeah. And it should be noted that deadly nightshade and wolfsbane are purple, which could leave a pink stain.
Sure.
Right? Okay, deadly nightshade. All right, here we go. Dilated pupils, headaches, rashes, irregular heartbeat, nightmares, and potentially death.
Oh, okay.
The question is, what kind of stain does nightshade leave? Because maybe nightshade leaves a pink stain.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how we would.
I don't know. I'm just going to keep reading through what we have here and see. I'm reading this brochure. Okay. I don't really see anything on that. Okay, but I did have a thought.
Okay.
So I realized that these, I know we're going through the motive and all of that kind of for each person, but we had been confused about this sticky note, and I figured out at least something.
Okay.
And I don't know if it might add to our table over here. So basically on the back, there's these planting times and a zone map. Okay. And it's got like different sorts of things, like maybe dots or slash marks or a grid.
Oh, okay. So it's like a planting pattern maybe?
Yeah, planting times per the zone. So June to July with the dots is carrots.
Okay.
And carrots, June to it says June, July, height. And then the height is 6 inches.
Okay.
Okay, so June, July, height, but I don't know why. I'm trying to figure out but I've made a connection here. So like then the February, March days to germination. So I don't know that these are across completely.
Okay.
Maybe. So February, March though, if you look at the snow peas.
Okay.
February to March is on here with the right symbol next to it. And then days to germination is 8.
Okay.
So I don't know if we should write that down or not.
Here.
Okay, you want me to write on the postcard?
Sure.
Okay, all right. So I don't know why, but the symbol, June, July, with the dots is the carrots. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Height
I don't either.
is 6.
Oh, I bet it's the code for this.
I think it's going to, yes.
Okay.
Right. Yes, a code. And so you're right. It's the code for the lock. Okay. So June, July dots, is, and the maximum 6.
Okay.
And then February, March is snow peas, days to germination is 8.
Okay.
And then the last one is just the hash marks, June, July, planting depth. It's 1.
Okay.
681.
And it opened it.
Woohoo! Yeah, baby.
Nice. Boy, I was sitting here as you're looking through this, talking about it, just trying like every number on this, starting like a 0, 0, 0.
So this is why they stole the things with the pencil case, because they needed a code.
Right. Right.
Where was the sticky note found?
The sticky note with the strange message written on it was in the hallway outside of Florence's office. It looks like someone dropped it.
Okay, so we now know that the sticky note goes
with those.
With the things.
Yeah. Yahoo! Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We get to open the pencil case.
Oh, look, it's a puzzle.
Oh, wait. I have to take pictures. Yay!
All right. Ooh, there's a ring.
Ooh.
Yeah, how nice this is.
It's like a nice ring.
I wouldn't wear it.
It's a big man ring.
It's a big man ring.
Look at that.
It's a big man ring with flowers on it.
It sounds metal.
It is actual metal. Yeah.
I have big knuckles, so that's yeah. Look at that. I mean, I feel like drop some wax on that sucker and seal an envelope.
That seems what it's like.
How much money Laura, quote unquote, Laura has made for the gardens. I can't stop looking at that name. Laura. Like, what is happening with the Laura thing? Who is Laura? Wow, there's a lot.
Oh, it seems like it's all cut up notes, but it seems like there's more than one kind because there's different handwritings and different colors of pen.
Yeah. Okay. It's like, okay, so I'm going to find all the edges for
yeah, okay.
like all of the side with the margin.
Okay.
So that piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. If this was a shredder, I'd get rid of the shredder. It didn't do a good job.
Yeah, it did not. Oops, sorry.
Ooh, that's a good corner piece. Look at that. Mm-hmm. This piece and this piece goes together.
Ooh, there's pink stains on some of these.
Mm-hmm. It's a big piece of paper.
Or more than one.
But even just like my one string over here.
Yeah.
It's a pretty decently sized piece of paper right here. That's like a full 8.5 by 11 right now. All
yeah.
right, so that's the end of that. And then I'm into the next side of it. Okay. So this feels like a scissors went straight up this.
Yes.
Right here. All right, I'm going to have to start taping on top, I think.
That's fine. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely tape on top.
I did the back.
That's so nice of you, but really unnecessary. It's like any kind of puzzle. Like you start doing it and you're like, this is going to take forever. I'm never going to get this. And then you kind of get a little start on it. And then it gets easier. Oh, okay. 60 to 90 minutes, my ass.
No! Not when we have to actually cut and paste.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This one doesn't go anywhere.
It probably goes here in this corner.
Was that black or purple? I can't.
Well, there's a little of both. But there's
on yours, there's a little of both.
Yeah.
There's like these little things.
Yeah.
And then I'm missing this piece.
Okay, so the black looks like Tara's handwriting to me. Whose
handwriting we have not seen? Because that looks a little bigger, and that looks very, very little.
Yeah.
And very, very precise. So we haven't seen Parker's handwriting.
That's true.
And we haven't seen Sherwood's handwriting. No, we've seen Sherwood's. We've seen Tara's. We've seen Heather's. We've seen
Oliver's.
We've seen, that's just, okay. So when we've seen Oliver's. So the only one we haven't seen is Parker.
Right. All we've seen is his signature, and that's not a good indication.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Florence.
Right, but Florence didn't poison herself. No. Probably.
Unless there's just a communication between Florence and somebody. You know what
I
mean? Like if Florence would. Right. But this.
All right. So what does yours say? You got blue.
This looks like Tara to me.
Okay.
I don't know. In purple.
Okay.
Because look.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, so maybe that's Tara and this is Parker's?
Maybe. Okay. So I'll figure this out on my own. Can't show anyone what I'm doing. Swiped some research notes that should help me out. Latest readings on tomato samples, 300 milligrams of solanine per leaf, 4 milligrams per gram in the fruit. The fruit is way less dangerous. Better use the leaf. What's the right amount? Just need her out of commission for a few months.
Okay, so they weren't trying to kill her. They were just trying to get her out of the way. Okay.
Sherwood once told me he's so much more sensitive to solanine than a regular person that he can't touch any of the samples in the lab without gloves. Skin-to-skin contact with regular tomatoes gives him a rash, but touching one of the samples in the lab would send him to the hospital for a few weeks. I bet he knows all about solanine. Wonder if I could ask and say it's for research. No X again. Still a bad idea to get him in on this. Need to figure this out myself. Just wasted a bunch of time trying to look through old lab reports for the answer when I could have just looked it up online instead. Here's what the internet told me. 300 milligrams is enough to make pretty much anyone feel terrible. Anything above 3 milligrams per kilo of body weight is dangerous, potentially fatal there. F's was around...
F's weight.
Yeah, F's weight around 70 kilograms. Better to underestimate. I'll say 60.
Okay.
Ooh,
okay.
That makes it more potent.
Well, less potent because he's saying he thinks that. Well, they're saying that their weight is about 70 kilograms, but they're deciding that they're going to dose for 60 kilograms instead because they don't want to kill him.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. So 2 milligrams per kilogram is 60 kilograms, 120 milligrams per dose. Tea canister, 30 servings of tea. She just drinks 1 cup per day. Quote, I hope. X again.
Okay.
30 times 120 equals 3,600. 36 cc's. I think she moved to 300 milligrams of solanine per leaf equals 12. Is that a 2?
Yeah, it looks like a 12 to me.
Need to grind up 12 leaves, mix them in loose leaf. Remember the right edge of
O.
of
Over
the canister.
Remember the right edge of
0
over the center of X, if that rings a bell. No, it does not ring a bell. If that rings a bell, it does not.
Not yet. It
Okay.
does not yet.
Not yet. All right. So this other one in the black. Objective: cultivate a water efficient strain of tomatoes, Selenium lopuscurum, by reducing their required water consumption by 15% without significantly altering the taste or quality. They played tic-tac-toe, and O's won. O's won.
The right edge of O over the center of X.
Huh. Okay. Huh. All right. Results of trial 1.3 or 13. I think it's 1.3.
1.3, yeah.
Slight decrease in water needs from last generation. Solanine, tossanine levels are high at 300 milligrams per leaf and 4 milligrams in the fruit, significantly above the threshold for safe consumption. Eating the fruit or leaves of even one tomato is enough to cause severe illness, symptoms comparable to nightshade poisoning. In addition to regular tomato tar, the heat and oils of the bare skin seem to cause a chemical reaction with the alkyl sugars of the leaves. This causes the fruit and leaves, when handled without gloves, to emit a sticky pink substance that requires an acid wash to remove from the skin but does not come out of clothes. Okay, so I think the
pink stains are the tomatoes.
Yeah, it's just she's being poisoned by the tomatoes, not by any of the floral.
Yeah.
Okay. Some samples have been lost due to poor temperature regulation and other avoidable mishaps. Avoidable mishaps, something Parker does often. Okay, so I think this is Tara's.
But you think this is Tara's handwriting?
I think it is, because I think these are Tara's notes because of the way it's definitely not Sherwood's, because there's pink stains on this and he's super allergic.
Right.
I don't see any reason for Heather to have been in there. It doesn't look like Oliver's handwriting. I think it's got to be Tara's.
So swiped some research notes that should help me out.
Yeah, so I'm thinking Parker.
So you think this is Parker's in the purple?
I do. F isn't happy with the progress. Florence isn't happy with the progress. Neither am I. But she'll cut funding for this. And what then? An external grant, which she knows she got denied. Check if the TS application is still open. So that's the facts where they denied her. Would F put in a good word? No way. Why couldn't S have gotten the director position? Dealing with his blatant nepotism would be a worthwhile trade to get Florence off my back. At least he'd give me more time to course correct. Okay, so Tara has a motive because her funding's about to be cut and she's not going to be able to.
She needs more time.
She needs more time.
And she doesn't want to. If this person is not Tara, who swiped the research notes, which are these.
Right.
Sorry. Who swiped the research notes, which you just read. For whatever reason.
Right.
What's the right amount? Just need to have her out of commission for a few months.
Okay. So I think we're pretty clear.
Maybe, if this is Parker's handwriting right here in the purple.
Right.
Okay. If this is Parker's, then I think the motive is he doesn't want her to file the report.
Okay.
Because if she's out of commission a few months and then Tara can make progress, then maybe she'll amend the actual internship notes. Or
he just needs her out of commission for a few months because Sherwood, next in line for the job, would take over while Florence
and rewrite the notes.
Either rewrite the notes or give him a job, and then it would be too late. So I think Sherwood's motive was that he's jealous, right? because he didn't get the director position.
Yeah, I would say that he's jealous.
But it seems like the poisoning is almost certainly the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he can't do that.
And he wouldn't have the means.
Nope.
Even if he had the opportunity because he was in his office.
And he did have the opportunity.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
but Parker's motive is to get rid of the bad review.
Right. Bad review.
Mm-hmm. The means
job.
Right.
Okay.
The means is the tomatoes.
Right.
Which he absolutely has.
Uh-huh.
And he had the opportunity because he was in there cleaning up for so much time.
Right.
In and out.
And then he left before it was over. Mm-hmm. Okay. So.
Yeah, he was in the lab. Went to the thing, got some snacks, went back to the lab. Now Sherwood did check in and see him there.
But it was 8:20.
Yeah.
And it was 8:15 when Oliver heard somebody in her office. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he had the opportunity. He might have been making the noise when everybody else was accounted for. Nobody else had eyes on Parker.
Right. And Oliver
was jealous. I don't think
Oliver... he was a jilted lover, but he didn't have access to the tomatoes.
No, because he wouldn't. He's a horticulturist.
Right.
But he does have access to nightshade, and it did note that the effects are like similar nightshade.
Right.
So if for some reason the tomato is not the actual means, he does have access to nightshade.
Right.
But we don't know that the nightshade, which is purple, would make a pink stain like this that's everywhere.
Right.
And doesn't wash out of clothing. But that would explain why Tara has all the stains.
Right. And why they're on what looks to be her notes as well as the notes that we think are Parker's.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Is that it? Do we think it's Parker with the tomatoes because of he had time and access to the lab and the...
Maybe, but here's the deal.
Uh-huh.
Tara also still had opportunity.
Okay.
Technically. But not really, because she was on the video conference.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's really, but she would have to slip in there fast. And I don't think she was in there when Oliver went by and heard something.
Right.
Yeah. What does it mean by remember the right edge of O over the center of X? If that rings a bell. What is about that?
The right edge of O over X. So that's the tic-tac-toe. And then levels are high at 300 milligrams. It's right next to the fact that it's the tomatoes are above the safe threshold for consumption. Eating the fruit or leaves of even one tomato is enough to cause severe illness comparable to nightshade poisoning. So maybe he's okay.
What do you mean it's near? What do you need? It's near the right edge of O.
Okay, so it's on the right. It's on the right edge of the piece of paper. O is over X's in all of these, right? So there's it because O1 across the top.
How does that relate to where the thing is on the location here?
Because I think it's right next. It's the results of trial 13. All this stuff are together. So is tomato access or, I don't know.
That's what I don't get. The right edge of O over X. I don't really get.
I don't know that it's really the right edge of O over X.
Remember, the right edge of O over the center of X.
The center of X. O is over that. I don't know. It seems like a clue, but I don't.
It seems like a clue of some sort, but I don't know what.
I don't either. I believe that there is help.
Oh, we don't want help.
Oh, I know we don't want help. I'm just saying that if we decide we want a little assistance to make sure that we're going in the right hint. All right, if you still feel stuck or would like a little help, mystery@magnolia.com and navigate to the hints and reveals. I don't know what the ring has to do with that.
Yeah, what is that? I feel like we're missing something here. Oh, we never figured out this.
Oh, we didn't. You're right. Yes, the puzzle.
Yeah, it's this code over here.
Yeah.
We never figured out this code.
Black, yellow.
If you connect the dots, you'll see where I stand. So color, we're thinking color coded to maybe the first letter of the...
maybe the flowers, yeah.
Because we have an A, D, O, B, L, W. No repeats.
Okay.
So maybe a color code. I'm going to look at these notes.
Oh, here's the flowers. All right, River Heights Garden Society. The flowers in the River Heights Garden Society are also this. So
it's somebody's ring. So who has membership?
Camilla Cementi, Larissa Andivar, Raul Chahuli, Astrid Feverworth, Basil Howard, Dr. Tara Latour, Dr. Sherwood Sanderson, and Parker Sanderson. So it's definitely got to be, I think, Tara, Sherwood, or Parker, but we know it can't be Sherwood. So it's either Tara or Parker. It's got to be.
Okay, so the following plants have had cuttings taken. Air plant, azalea, bleeding heart, chamomile, jelly bean plant, lily of the valley, oleander, Venus flytrap, and wolfsbane.
Okay, so deadly nightshade doesn't have any cuttings.
No.
Okay, so probably not that one. So it's got to be azalea, oleander, lily of the valley, wolfsbane, or bleeding heart. So the only one we can really probably rule out is deadly nightshade.
Yeah.
Out of these, but it still could be the tomatoes.
Yes, this tomato thing is a thing because this
Right.
Yeah. Need to figure it out myself.
Yeah, he can't ask.
No.
Suregood. Because or Sherwood, not Suregood.
Oh, wait, here's X's. Wait, remember me saying there's these X's?
Uh-huh.
Remember the right edge of O over the center of X, if that rings a bell. There's the right edge of O over the center of X, 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 X. And there's an X there too.
Okay.
What is up with the X's here?
I don't know. That's an excellent question. Okay. So I think it has to be Parker because Parker stole these notes from Tara, right?
Yeah.
Because if Tara had this, they wouldn't do her any good, right? And then it's cut up and it's somebody who's got a relationship with the River Heights Garden Society because there's the ring. I think it has to be Parker.
I'm definitely, I like Parker for this.
I do too.
I like Parker for this.
I wish I knew.
I don't like not being able to figure out this code.
Right.
Because some of these have cuttings taken that aren't in the fatal flora.
Right. Well, let's see.
What do
I bet all of the cuttings are in this.
I bet all of the cuttings are in there. Too. Yes.
I bet the air plant is like, let's see. I bet the azalea's there. The bleeding heart is definitely there.
Wait, give me the map. Sorry. I had a thought. Yes, it's all there, I think. Venus flytrap. I mean, there's other things in it.
The wolfsbane.
I hate not knowing what this is. I just want to figure this out. It feels like I'm so close. Like, I feel like it's like we're almost there. Okay, I think I have this. Wait.
Okay,
hold on. Where's the other page with the things that were cut?
There's postcard hints.
Purple?
So
that's blue right there, or is that purple?
There's blue, orange, purple, yellow, pink, red, and white.
Yeah. I'm asking. This looks like blue to you right here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's which one of these would be blue? We need to look that up. Jelly bean plant or jelly bean plant is green with pink tips. Yeah, because
chamomile is not
6, 7.
Okay. I don't think chamomile's in there either.
Yeah, it looks like a daisy sort of thing. Okay, so what's this blue one then? Venus flytrap?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay, so what's this yellow one? Air plant? See, that's all this green stuff that's in here. Okay. So we know the azalea. So what we don't have is we don't have this yellow. We don't know what the yellow is. But we know the wolfsbane is purple. Up here.
Right.
We don't really see the deadly nightshade in there. We see the wolfsbane, right?
I think.
So W.
Let's see.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, but we said that was blue.
Okay. Well, the white is definitely lily of the valley.
Yeah.
So those are L's. I think the pink is the
bleeding heart.
The bleeding heart.
BL. Because lily of the valley is white too.
Right. That's why it was L.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Not what I was thinking. Yes. We're sure that that's the lily of the valley right there.
Unless the pink is not bleeding heart, but azalea. A-L.
Okay, there's two things. Yeah. Which one is the pink versus the red? A-L-O-L. Well, that pink looks like bleeding heart.
Yes.
So if this is what we're going with. Okay, so
Right.
let's try something else. L, that looks like blue? We don't know what this one is yet.
No.
We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about this postcard. I'm not sure that matters. I think Parker did it.
All right. Yeah.
I think it's the daggum tomato stuff because he ground up the leaves of the tomato.
You must connect each of the flowers to one another in order for the colors are given on the postcard. The shape that you make connecting these dots will be a letter. Oh.
Oh,
so,
that way. Okay.
Oh, so you connect the
we're saying blue,
yellow, blue, purple, N.
N.
Okay.
Oh, perennial.
Oh, yep. Yep. Which means I love you.
I love you.
Yep.
Cute. Okay. I'm glad. Okay. I still think Parker's the
Right.
murderer.
Okay.
Or not murderer. She's not dead yet.
Okay. So
We just need to figure out what it is so that we can give her an anecdote.
Okay. There's a facts hint. We haven't spent much time with got this. Did we understand the sticky note? We understand the notebooks.
Yeah.
We haven't really done the facts.
We have. That's the whole motive.
Right.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. That's not. That was part of the whole, like,
Okay. Yeah. Tara.
vindicating Tara.
Right. Tara had written, divide the data out into the number of roses on the ring.
What? What
On
are you
the
reading?
back of the facts. We didn't look at the back of the facts. So she knows about the ring. Damn it.
Well, she has one.
Well, yeah. That's right. She would have one.
She has one.
All right. Divide the data out onto the number of the roses on into.
Divide the data out into the number of roses on the ring.
Okay. So 3 is the number of roses. Okay, so it's another puzzle. The data Tara is referring to the letters of the encoded phrase. You will need to divide the letters of the code into a certain number of groups.
Yeah. So
3.
We're 3.
So is it-
2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1. That's right. Like COU. Right?
Yeah, could
Finish.
not.
Find.
Find. Okay, one of my
2,
notes.
3. No.
Oh.
Oh, shoot. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I lost because I made too many dots.
Okay, so blank spaces are counted as characters. Has someone been in my office?
Yep.
Could not find one of the notes. I know it was on my desk. Has someone been in my office? So, it's got to be Parker.
It's just got to be Parker.
It's just got to be Parker, who had the opportunity because he wasn't in the situation.
Yep. I'm still, yeah, I like Parker for this problem.
I like Parker.
Because he's got a lot riding on this, like the River Heights Garden Society. Like, he's a member. Like,
All right.
I feel confident.
Okay.
I felt confident before we even looked at the hints.
Yeah, me too.
But we had to be sure.
Right. All right. We're going to open it up.
Okay. Let's open it. Parker, go to jail.
All right. It's Parker with
The
tomatoes.
in the tea.
Yeah. And in the tea. All right. So precocious private eyes put prospective poisoner in his place. River Heights University senior Parker Sanderson has been arrested by local authorities after his confession to the poisoning of Florence North, the head of Magnolia Gardens, and Nancy Drew, beloved local detective. Sanderson, now a former intern at Magnolia Gardens, admitted to placing toxic samples of a genetically modified strain of tomato into North's canister of loose leaf tea, which she kept in her office and habitually drank from each morning. asked to comment on his nephew's action. Magnolia Garden's curator Sherwood Sanderson, PhD, expressed surprise and horror and claimed complete ignorance of the plot. Evidence of Parker Sanderson's crime first came to the attention of River Heights Police Department when it received a tip from none other than Nancy Drew herself. Drew, who has since recovered from the ill effects of the poison, fell victim to the young Sanderson's toxic tincture when she accepted a cup of tea from North during a casual visit to Magnolia Gardens. Drew, who was hospitalized for a short period, called on the help of an anonymous colleague in order to get to the bottom of the case. The two worked together to successfully unearth the identity of the culprit, whereupon Drew turned over Parker Sanderson's name to local authorities. Upon hearing Drew's explanation, RHPD officers took Parker Sanderson in for questioning, obtained a tearful confession within the hour. The guy started trembling like a leaf in a tornado as soon as we saw this guy talking to him. It didn't take long before he was telling us everything, and the arresting officer asked to comment. I don't think he realized how serious his actions were until the consequences came knocking at his door. Tara Latour, PhD, Parker Sanderson's direct supervisor and creator of the tomato strain used in the crime, noted that she was ashamed that Parker Sanderson formed such a sinister scheme using her research and stated that she can't believe Parker used my samples for evil. Latour went on to clarify that the tomato strain is still in its research and development phase and will only be made available to the public once it is completely safe to consume. One of Magnolia Garden's employees, Heather Shaw, reflected on the revelation with surprise. Parker never seemed to be the type of total creep that would literally poison someone just because he was mad about getting a bad grade or whatever, Shaw said. I guess it was just goes to show you that everybody's got weird secrets and stuff. North herself has, like Drew, made full recovery at this time. I'm still very shaken up on what would happen, and I'll be taking some time off work to stay with close friends to decompress, North said in the statement to the press. After that, though, I'll be returning to my position as director of Magnolia Gardens. At the end of the day, that's where I belong. I'll always be grateful to Nancy Drew and her fellow detectives for making it safe for me again.
Woohoo!
Uh-huh. And then there's a letter from Nancy.
Okay. Coming soon to Magnolia Gardens, though, blooming friendship and blossoming love. An exploration of feelings through flowers.
Aw. Sounds like something Oliver put together.
I think so. Okay. Thanks to your analysis, we can make the following conclusions. Parker Sanderson is the culprit. He knew Florence wasn't going to hire him after his internship ended, and that his uncle Sherwood had been the other choice for promotion to director. In Parker's mind, if Florence was out of the way, Sherwood would take her place, and Sherwood likes Parker enough to hire him despite his poor performance. Parker poisoned Florence to secure a job at Magnolia Gardens under Dr. Sanderson. Parker had access to Dr. Tara Latour's genetically modified tomatoes in the lab. Those samples are full of the chemical solanine, which is also found in nightshade. That's why the poison's effects were similar to the symptoms of nightshade poisoning. Okay. We can tell Parker used the samples because of the pink stains in Florence's office. Dr. Latour's notes say the samples leave pink stains when handled without gloves. Tara had the same stains on her lab coat, which proves the connection between the stains in Florence's office and the tomatoes in the lab. The stains also prove Sherwood wasn't the culprit. Sherwood can't handle Tara's samples without gloves due to his severe allergy. We know the stain was created by a bare-handed culprit, so Sherwood is off the hook. Oliver Watley seemed suspicious at first since Florence broke his heart. However, the coded message in the bouquet left on her office doorstep was perennial, a word that had a strong romantic significance to the two of them. Oliver was still in love with Florence, which suggests he didn't have a motive to poison her. Additionally, the ring inside of the 10 of the culprit's belongings was from the River Heights Garden Society. Oliver doesn't belong to that club and therefore doesn't own such a ring. Mm-hmm. Heather Shaw left a sales ledger in the old greenhouse. Deciphering it showed that Heather was stealing plant cuttings and selling them. But her motivations weren't selfish. The name of the donor, Laura H. Letesh, is an anagram of Heather Shaw. Heather was donating her proceeds back to the botanical garden. She was going to reveal her sales to Florence to convince Florence to sell the plants at the gift shop. That means she didn't have any motive to poison Florence. The page also gives Heather an alibi. During the time Florence's door was unlocked, Heather was busy at the opening and then making a sale in the greenhouse. She had no opportunity to poison the tea. We had talked about that, how she was preparing by taking flowers and getting them ready.
Yep. And you figured out out the selling of plants. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and that was her like ledger.
Right.
So, and then, but I didn't quite catch the Laura. How much money Laura has made. I didn't quite catch the donor Laura on the back of here.
Right.
The Laura in honor of Felix Scallop Torres. So I didn't catch that either. Did you? Mm-mm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Heather was donating, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Dr. Latour had a strong motive, thinking Florence would uproot her research project. However, she had no opportunity to poison the tea either. On the night of the opening, Tara gave her lecture and went straight to a call with Tom Swift Company in desperate bid to secure funding that could save her research. She stayed on the call until after the door was locked again. When I first arrived at Magnolia Gardens, I never would have guessed there was so many secrets buried just beneath the surface. I'm glad you could help me dig them up. As you can see from the article I've sent, I've passed our findings on to Florence, who, like me, has thankfully made a full recovery, and to the authorities. I hope we get to work together again someday, but let's hope the next time I won't have to get poisoned first. Your friend, Nancy Drew.
Awesome. That's super cool.
Okay, well, we've done some cut and paste. And we've done some handwriting analysis. We've done some profiling because the first thing I said is I looked at Parker and I said, that's it.
That's
Look
right.
at that guy. Look at this picture. He's so like creepy looking. Look, he's side-eyeing. Like, no. We knew it was him from the beginning.
Yeah, you did. I didn't.
And then, of course, we did, just some putting the strings together, which I'm going to have pictures of.
I'm going to put more up there and take another picture in a minute. I'm going to put things back and...
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we'll have some pictures of our stringed board.
Yes, it's going to be super fun.
Yeah, I have some that we've made along the way. And then we have all of our stuff.
Yeah, all of that I'll put on our social media. Mm-hmm. You know where to find that. I had a little break in here where you can hear all that. Find us on the Facebook, Twitter, or X, or whatever the heck it's called now.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
This is super fun.
This was fun.
I'm so proud of us.
I think we only got to a place where, like, I was all like, no hints. And you were like, we need hints. I opened the computer like, no, I'm done. I'm done.
We already pretty much had figured it out, but we wanted to make sure there wasn't something that we were missing. Yeah, that was the only reason why I was willing to go for the hints, because I was like...
Yeah. And we wanted to figure out the code on the postcard because that was cute. And then we actually missed a whole piece. We didn't turn over.
But it didn't turn out to really have...
It would have. Had we not already come to the conclusion that
we did.
The notes were whose. And that the person was the person.
Right. This would have been helpful.
This would have been helpful. But we had already gotten there.
Right. We had already gotten there.
Yeah.
So. Awesome. Thanks so much for sticking with us through that super long episode. And we will be back at you next week with our normal sort of outtakes episode. We had just so much fun playing these games, and it was great. Don't forget about those codes. I'll share them again on our social media. Find them there. And until next time, be safe, be kind, and wash your hands.
Da, da, da.